All right, morning everybody. Welcome to another round of coffee and questions. And what's today's topic? I'm going to kind of bounce off the previous video when we were talking about dealing with cracks, voids in wood and stuff like that. And so whether it's flat work or whether you're doing wood turning, like a lot of times is what I use is for demo on a lot of this stuff. The thing is like in the previous video, I explained to you that not all epoxies are the same quality. You can buy stuff from Harbor Freight, or you could buy more expensive epoxies. And like I told you in the past video, I have a little bit of both. And now on CA glue, they're not all the same quality. I've got some of the little tubes from out of Harbor Freight for unimportant things, around the shop here or whatever. And I've got also Stickfast or Surebond or, a much better quality one for other stuff. Now, with all that being said, we were talking about like epoxy, and it's like, well, I do use JB Weld quite a bit. But there was a new product that came to my attention out at the club. I had one of them say, I was telling them about a project that I had done. And what happened is, I don't know if the area was real punky or whatever, but as I was beginning to, kind of slice it off on the lathe, I noticed it started to wobble real bad. I stopped the lathe, and what it did when I was able to take it out of the chuck, it put like a dime size or like a nickel size hole right at the pith in the bottom of the wood turning. And I'm going to show you a picture, in just a sec. But I went ahead, he said, hey, have you ever tried PC7? It's an A and B epoxy, a putty. I said, no. And he said, you should try it. He goes, it's kind of a little goopy to work with, but it works really well. And he went ahead and he gave me some. So I have these two containers, and I'll demo it here in just a little bit. But let me show you the picture. What I did is, like I said, it was about the size of a dime or a nickel. And I went ahead and I mixed up this putty and I put it on there. Let me show you a picture real quick. Okay, so after I put that on there, I mixed it up, and just with a stick or whatever you got, I started to press it against the sides of the hole. And it wasn't like wanting to leak down in there. It was pretty stiff. And I was able to cover the hole like you saw in that picture. I let it dry for 24 hours. It says, hey, it sets up in this time, it cures in this time. It's like, I always like to make sure it's cured if I can. So I waited 24 hours or more and I sanded it. Now I used 80 grit and I have a mandrel on my drill press. It sands real easily. I mean, as long as you're not trying to use used up sandpaper. Okay, but I put a new little round disc on there. I have 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch mandrels for sanding on my drill press. I used the 2 inch. I put the 80 grit on there. You could have used 60. You could have used 100. Anyway, and I sanded it. And so let me show you what it looks like after the sanding. Okay, and so from there, I made sure that my bottom was, nice and flat and what have you. And then I started my finishing process, which was I put usually, a couple of coats of shellac, whether it's 1.5 pound or 2 pound, steel wool it real good. And then I used actually, Minwax, wipe on poly, several coats on there, over a couple of days or what have you. And you can wax it afterwards if you want to. If you don't want to, that's up to you. But anyway, the focus was in on this PC7. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pan down here in a sec, and I'm going to mix it up and I'll show you and we'll make some comments about it. But I wanted to answer a couple of more questions first. So as you see here in these containers, there's an A and a B, just like you would on any epoxy. And well, it's some heavy duty stuff. Truthfully, it's part A, part B. You mix equal amounts. So, like I said, I'm going to show that to you here in a few minutes. So, when it dries, does it accept a stain? No, not really. But it's going to dry a dark gray, almost going into like a black color. But like I said, it sands easily. And, look, it was better than throwing out the project, which I didn't really want to do because the person that wants it really, really likes how it turned out. And you can see here, I'll zoom in if I can. And you see here, the bottom turned out fine. And the rest of it, see if I can zoom in again. You can see, I mean, this is a nice little vessel. I have not made a finial top for it yet. That's going to be the next part. I just wanted to see if it was salvageable. And so the answer is yes. Now, I did not put any tape down on the inside of it to like plug it before I pasted it over the backside. This stuff's pretty darn thick. And by pressing it against the sides of the hole, this thing just covered it perfectly fine. Well, what's the cure time? Well, a lot of this says, it can be a handful of hours, et cetera, et cetera. I do 24 hours. Now, this also depends on where you're living and what the temperature is. You may have to leave it a little bit longer, but you can feel it. And when I believed after 24 hours, I believed, okay, it was fully cured, I could feel it and it was like rock hard. So that told me, okay, I'm okay to go ahead and sand now. Now, the instructions on this say, which is true, and I'll explain to you, you can use this on a lot of different materials. I mean, you could use it on fiberglass, concrete, metal, although I would not, me personally, I wouldn't use it on metal. I would go back to my JB Weld, I mean, for things dealing with metal, but it says you can use it on brick, glass, ceramic. You can use it to seal leaks. You could do all these different things. Now, I haven't tried everything, but I have some block walls out front where it had a fairly decent sized crack running along the grout joint. And I went ahead and I mixed this stuff up. I had gloves on. I pushed it in, smeared it nice and smooth as I could. I let it dry for several days because I wasn't in a hurry. I went out, I painted it. It doesn't show anymore, and it's not cracking through the epoxy. So, yeah, it would work good on other materials, but I only tried it so far on wood and, like I said, on that masonry block wall, the grout line. What's the mixing of it like? Well, I'm going to pan down. I'm going to show you that here in a minute. Truthfully, it's kind of like mixing bubble gum. I mean, after you've chewed it for a while. I mean, it's some pretty thick stuff. I mean, it's mixable, but it's going to be a little bit thicker maybe than anything you're used to mixing as far as, putties go. Well, when you're done mixing it, it's like the consistency of tar. I mean, really, and it's sticky, gooey. You got to wear gloves. I mean, I would tell you definitely wear gloves, but it's sticky, gooey, and it's pretty darn stiff. I mean, those are the only things I can say about it until you actually try it. One of the club members said, "How well does it accept staining?" Well, it's super dark gray going to black. I mean, no, it doesn't. It'll just look like you filled it with whether it was black epoxy or CA glue and something black. Like I said, usually if I'm using epoxy, I'll use like trans tint. I know this stuff's not cheap, but 1 drop or 2 drops goes a long way. The bottle really lasts a very long time. And I could put a drop or two in just JB Weld epoxy or Harbor Freight epoxy, and I can turn around with a glove on and smear it into a crack real good a little bit later on after it's dried and cured, sand it, and it works fine. But it's not going to accept a stain. So what would I use this for if I actually went out and purchased it again? Like I said, this was like a dime or nickel size hole right at the pith in the bottom of that vessel. That works good for that, or anything that's kind of got a big like divot in it or something like that. You can spread this with a putty knife and what have you. But for anything thinner than that, I stick with the Harbor Freight epoxy for things that aren't that important, or JB Weld for the things that are important, and just put a little trans tint dye with it. You can also mix these things. I don't mean the putty, but I mean the other things that I mentioned with pureed coffee grounds in one of those little coffee blenders. You can make it into a powder. You could use mica powder. You could use the sawdust that comes off of whatever you're working on. They make ground stone, ground copper, all kinds of different things, but I'm just sticking with this epoxy. So, what's the cleanup? What are you going to use for cleanup on this? I mean, if you happen to make a mess or whatever, you're going to use xylene. Xylene works good for the cleanup of this. Now, if the hole is of any decent size, apply it twice. Okay, apply the first one, just leave it alone, let it shrink, let it do whatever it's going to do if you're not in a rush, and then go ahead and give it like another coat. Now, what I did, because I've never used it before, of course, like you saw it in the picture, I put it on rather thick with like a little hump, whatever, and I just sanded it, and that turned out fine. If it was anything bigger than that, yeah, I would probably do a 2-coat application. Okay, let's pan down. Let me show you the mixing of it, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here's the PC7, the A and the B. So we're going to take out equal amounts of both and we'll mix them. Here's the A, and it's kind of a whitish, off-white. We'll put that on there. And we're going to get out an equal amount of the B. And then we're going to mix them. Okay, and as you can see, that's a super dark gray going to black. And then you just go ahead and use it from here. But that's all there is to the mixing. All right, folks, I hope you click subscribe. Keep following me. You got any comments, drop them below. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much, folks. Have a great day. Bye-bye.